June 28, 2005, deep in the unforgiving mountains of Afghanistan, 4 U.S. Navy SEALs were inserted into enemy territory on a covert mission. Their objective: to locate and eliminate a high-ranking Taliban leader, Ahmad Shah. But within hours, the mission turned into a nightmare. Outnumbered, outgunned, and completely cut off, the SEALs found themselves in one of the most devastating battles in modern U.S. military history. This is the story of Operation Red Wings, the mission that cost the U.S. Navy SEALs their biggest loss ever. The mission: hunting a ghost. It all started with one man, Ahmad Shah, a ruthless Taliban commander responsible for orchestrating deadly attacks on U.S. and Afghan forces. Intelligence suggested that he and his fighters were hiding in the remote, mountainous region of Kunar province. For the U.S. military, taking him out wasn't just an option, it was a necessity. And for a mission this critical, only the best would be sent in. Enter SEAL Team 10. 4 highly trained operators were handpicked for the job. Lieutenant Michael Murphy, the team leader, a fearless warrior who always put his men first. Petty Officer Danny Dietz, the team's communications specialist, tough, determined, and always ready for a fight. Petty Officer Matthew Axelson, a sniper with unmatched precision and a sharp tactical mind. Petty Officer Marcus Luttrell, the team's medic and the man who would later live to tell the story. Their mission was simple but deadly: infiltrate the mountains, locate Ahmad Shah, confirm his presence, and call in reinforcements for an airstrike. But what they didn't know was that they were walking into an ambush they wouldn't escape from. The insertion dropped into hostile territory. Under the cover of darkness, a CH-47 Chinook helicopter soared low over the rugged peaks of the Hindu Kush Mountains. Inside, the 4 SEALs sat silently, mentally preparing for what lay ahead. Each of them knew the risks. They had done countless missions before, but this one felt different. At exactly 1:00 a.m., the helicopter reached the designated drop point. The terrain was brutal: steep cliffs, dense forests, and barely any flat ground to land on. One by one, the SEALs jumped out, landing in near-total darkness. The air was thin, making every breath feel heavier. The only sounds were the distant rustling of trees and the hum of the retreating helicopter. Now, they were completely alone. Their objective: hike several miles through treacherous terrain, reach a vantage point, and observe Taliban activity in the valley below. Every step had to be calculated. One wrong move could send them tumbling down the mountain or, worse, alert enemy forces. After hours of climbing, they finally reached their observation point, a rocky ledge overlooking the village. From here, they could see movement. Taliban fighters were patrolling, unaware that elite U.S. forces were watching them from above. Everything was going according to plan, until it wasn't. The discovery: a life-or-death dilemma. It was the middle of the day, and the SEALs remained hidden. No sign of Ahmad Shah yet, but they stayed patient. Surveillance required time. Then they heard it: the distant sound of bells clanking. As they looked up, 3 Afghan goat herders appeared from behind a ridge, moving toward their position. An old man and 2 teenage boys, completely unarmed. Within seconds, the SEALs had them at gunpoint. Now they had a serious problem. The mission depended on stealth. If the herders alerted the Taliban, the SEALs would be dead in minutes. The team debated their options: kill them and ensure silence, tie them up and leave them, let them go and hope they wouldn't talk. Morally and legally, killing unarmed civilians wasn't an option. So, after a tense discussion, they made a decision that would seal their fate. They let the herders go. As the 3 disappeared down the mountain, the SEALs knew it was only a matter of time before the enemy came hunting. The ambush. Barely an hour later, the mountains erupted with gunfire. The Taliban were coming. From multiple directions, waves of heavily armed fighters charged up the mountain, unloading AK-47s, RPGs, and machine gun fire. The SEALs took cover behind rocks, returning fire with everything they had. Their training kicked in, controlled bursts, precise shots, never wasting a bullet. But there were too many. For every Taliban fighter they dropped, more seemed to appear. The SEALs were outnumbered at least 50-4. Then came the RPGs. Explosions rocked the mountainside, sending debris flying. The SEALs were forced to move, scrambling for better positions. But with each retreat, they lost higher ground. One by one, they took devastating hits. Danny Dietz was shot multiple times but kept fighting. He tried to call for backup but was gunned down while holding the radio. Matt Axelson continued sniping until he was struck in the head. Even then, he kept pulling the trigger. Michael Murphy, knowing they had no chance without reinforcements, made a decision that would cost him his life. He left cover, stepped into open ground, and called for backup, while taking enemy fire. Bullets tore through him, but he stayed on the line, relaying their coordinates. With his last breaths, Murphy fought until he collapsed. Only one man was left standing. The lone survivor, Marcus Luttrell, was gravely wounded. Shrapnel embedded in his legs. Bullets had ripped through his body, but he was still alive. Using sheer willpower, he crawled for miles, evading Taliban search teams. He drank from muddy streams, ate leaves, and barely held on. Finally, after days of hiding, Afghan villagers found him. Instead of turning him in, they protected him, risking their own lives. They sent word to U.S. forces, and after a daring rescue mission, Luttrell was finally brought home. The aftermath. When reinforcements arrived, they faced a nightmare. The bodies of 3 SEALs, the wreckage of a downed rescue helicopter, and the loss of 19 American heroes. The deadliest day in Navy SEAL history. For his sacrifice, Michael Murphy was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor, the first SEAL to receive it since Vietnam. Danny Dietz and Matthew Axelson received the Navy Cross. Marcus Luttrell lived to tell their story. His book, Lone Survivor, later became a Hollywood film, immortalizing their bravery. These men fought against impossible odds, never backing down, never surrendering. Their legacy lives on in every SEAL who carries their memory into battle. Would you have made the same decision as them? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more stories of heroism and sacrifice, make sure to subscribe.